You know you're meant for more, not because you're broken, but because there's a fire in your chest that keeps whispering, "This isn't all I'm made for." Maybe you're tired of falling back into the same habits. Maybe you're stuck in your own self-doubt, or maybe you're staring at goals you once believed in, wondering why you're still standing in the same place. If you're asking yourself how to finally change, truly change, for good, then you're right where you need to be. Not to become perfect, but to begin. Change doesn't happen because you wake up one day and magically have it all figured out. It happens when you choose. Every day, one small step at a time. And most of all, when you dare to believe, "I can." Before we dive in, take a moment to scroll down and check out the question I left in the comments. I'd love to hear your answer, because your story matters. And sometimes sharing it is the very first step toward everything you've been waiting to become. Everything begins with one hard truth. You can't change what you refuse to see. Before you can fix anything in your life, you've got to face it, fully, honestly, without filters. You can't outgrow what you won't admit is holding you back. This is the moment to pause, not to judge yourself, but to finally look your life in the eye. What patterns are quietly pulling you under, over and over again? Start where it's real. Your habits, your thoughts, your relationships. Are there routines that leave you drained? Beliefs that keep you playing small? Or people who make you shrink instead of grow? You don't need to have the answers yet. You just need to be brave enough to ask the right questions. Self-awareness isn't about labeling yourself as broken. It's about reclaiming your power to choose better. Take an honest inventory of where you are. What are you doing on autopilot that's keeping you stuck? Which voices in your head sound familiar, but aren't really yours? The ones that say, "You're not ready," or "You're not enough." Write them down, name them, because the more clearly you can see what's weighing you down, the easier it becomes to set yourself free. This isn't about shame, it's about clarity. You're not here to punish yourself for the past. You're here to interrupt the pattern and change the story. Self-awareness is the foundation every breakthrough is built on. And the truth is, the courage to look inward is often the very thing that sets you apart. So stop running. Sit with what's uncomfortable. You are strong enough to face it, because the moment you do, you start taking your power back. Real change begins the moment you stop giving your power away. You've looked inward. You've seen what's not working. Now comes the part most people avoid. Taking full responsibility, not just for the good things, but for the patterns, the choices, the cycles you've stayed in for too long. Because here's the truth. You can't heal while you're still blaming. It's easy to point fingers at your past, your parents, your boss, the economy, the timing. It's easy to say, "If that hadn't happened," or "if they had treated me differently." But every time you hand responsibility to something outside yourself, you also hand away your ability to change it. And you don't get to rewrite a story while someone else is still holding the pen. Taking ownership doesn't mean it's all your fault. It means you're done waiting for permission to grow. It means you choose to stop replaying the past like a broken record and start writing a new track. One where you're the author, not the victim. It's not about guilt. It's about reclaiming your role as the one who decides what happens next. And yes, it's hard, because responsibility doesn't let you hide. It calls you out, then calls you up. But the moment you own your choices, fully, fiercely, without excuses, you start to feel something shift. You stop waiting for things to get better. You start becoming the reason they do. So let this be the moment you draw a line in the sand. No more blaming, no more "if only." This is your life, and no one is coming to save it for you. But you are more than capable of saving yourself. The biggest lies you'll ever face are the excuses you keep telling yourself. They sound so reasonable, don't they? "I don't have time. I'm just too tired. I'll start when I'm ready." But let's be honest, these aren't facts. They're escape routes dressed up as logic. And the longer you keep repeating them, the longer you'll stay exactly where you are. Excuses aren't just delays, they're distractions. They give your fear something to hide behind, and they whisper just enough comfort to keep you from facing what actually needs to change. But here's the truth. If something truly matters to you, you'll find a way. If it doesn't, you'll find an excuse. The hardest part? These lies come from you, Not from your boss, your partner, or the world outside. They come from the voice in your head that's scared of discomfort, scared of failure, scared of what happens if you actually try. And the only way to break free is to start calling that voice out. So ask yourself honestly, is what I'm telling myself really true or just easy? Am I avoiding something that matters because I'm afraid it might challenge me? You deserve better than a life built on convenient half-truths. You deserve the clarity and freedom that only come when you stop negotiating with your limitations. This is the moment to stop justifying the delay, to stop telling yourself you'll do it when things settle down. Life doesn't slow down, you rise up. And you do that by refusing to let excuses speak louder than your purpose. No more someday, no more stories that keep you small, just truth, action, and the power to choose again, right now. Change doesn't happen through hope alone. It needs a plan that moves. It's one thing to know you want a better life. It's another to actually build it. Wanting to be healthier or feel happier sounds nice, but vague goals won't take you far. What you need are targets you can see, steps you can follow, and actions that make momentum feel real, even on the days when motivation fades. So get specific. What exactly do you want to change? And more importantly, what are the daily actions that will get you there? Don't say get in shape. Say, I'll walk 30 minutes after work 3 times a week. Don't say work on my mindset. Say, I'll journal each morning and read 10 pages of a growth book every night. Vague dreams stay dreams. Clear steps turn into results. You don't need a giant leap. You need a real starting point. Set goals that stretch you, not break you. The point isn't to prove something overnight. It's to build the kind of rhythm that keeps you showing up even when it's hard. Because consistency beats intensity, and progress, even slow, is always louder than perfection. And here's the part people miss. Momentum creates confidence. Every small win, every box you check, rewires your brain to believe in yourself more. And that belief is what fuels bigger action, deeper change, stronger self-trust. Your goal isn't just what you want, it's who you're becoming while you go after it. So stop waiting for clarity to show up. Go out and create it. Write it down, break it down, make it visible, and start. Because the gap between where you are and where you want to be, it's made of daily doable steps, and you are ready to take the first one. When motivation disappears, and it will, discipline is what keeps you going. Let's be honest, you won't always feel like doing the work. The fire you felt at the beginning, it fades. Life gets loud, tiredness creeps in, and suddenly that goal you were so committed to starts slipping through the cracks. That's when discipline steps in. Not as punishment, but as protection for the promises you made to yourself. Discipline isn't about pushing harder, it's about showing up, even when it's not exciting. It's doing what matters when no one's watching. It's choosing the bigger picture over temporary comfort. You might not feel like waking up early, hitting the gym, saying no to distractions, but you do it anyway. Not because it's easy, because it's who you're becoming. Think of discipline like a muscle. The more you train it, the stronger it gets. And just like with your body, consistency is key. You don't build strength by going all out once a month. You build it by showing up every day, even when the mood isn't there, especially when the mood isn't there. Start small. Create a daily routine that supports your goals, not someone else's version of success, but yours. That might mean blocking time for deep work, cutting down on mindless scrolling, or setting clearer boundaries around your energy. Discipline thrives in structure, not restriction, structure. A solid frame that frees you to focus. And when the voice inside says, skip it just this once, remember this. Every choice you make is casting a vote for the person you want to be. Discipline isn't about being perfect. It's about keeping the promise again and again until the promise becomes who you are. So on the days you don't feel like it, show up anyway. Not because you have to, but because you said you would. You will fall. What matters most is that you rise, and how you rise. Let's not sugarcoat it. The path to becoming your best self is going to hurt sometimes. Life will test you. Plans will fall apart. People might doubt you. And worse, you'll sometimes doubt yourself. But none of that defines you. What defines you is what you choose to do next. Resilience isn't about avoiding failure. It's about facing it, learning from it, and getting back up. Wiser, stronger, more focused. Every setback you survive sharpens your edge. Every detour teaches you something you didn't know you needed. And the truth is, some of your greatest growth will come from your lowest moments. But here's what most people forget. Bouncing back doesn't mean rushing through the pain. It means allowing yourself to feel it, then choosing to move anyway. Not in spite of the struggle, but because of it. Because you know deep down, storms don't last forever. And the sun, it's still shining behind the clouds. So when failure comes, don't see it as proof that you're not enough. See it as a redirection, a recalibration, a reminder that your path was never supposed to be straight. It was supposed to shape you. The most successful people aren't the ones who never fell. They're the ones who fell, got up, and kept walking. You build resilience every time you keep going. Every time you shift from why me to watch me. You are not fragile. You are not broken. You are being forged. And the fire you're walking through right now, it's making you unshakable. So get up, again and again. Because every time you do, you prove to yourself, nothing can keep you down for long. What you believe becomes how you live. And that starts in your mind. Every action you take, every risk you avoid, every step forward or backward, it all begins with the story you're telling yourself. If deep down you believe you're not good enough, not capable, not worthy, your actions will follow that script. So if you truly want to change your life, you've got to start by changing the narrative inside your head. That means becoming aware of the way you talk to yourself. Do you encourage yourself or criticize yourself at every turn? Are you your own biggest supporter or your own worst enemy? Your thoughts aren't just background noise, they're instructions, and your brain is listening. This isn't about pretending life is perfect or forcing fake positivity. It's about choosing to speak with truth and strength, especially when things are hard. It's reminding yourself of what you've overcome, repeating what's possible instead of what's gone wrong, saying I'm learning instead of I failed, I'm growing instead of I'm stuck. That shift in language, it shifts everything. Feed your mind like you feed your body, with fuel that builds, not breaks. Read books that lift you. Listen to voices that believe in you. Create space for silence, for reflection, for visualizing the person you're becoming. Because mindset isn't just about thinking positively. It's about thinking powerfully. You don't have to have it all figured out. You just need to start guarding the doorway to your thoughts. Because when you believe you're enough, when you believe you're capable, when you believe you deserve better, you begin to act like it. And that belief becomes the first brick in the life you're meant to build. You can't build your best life if you're constantly running on empty. It's easy to overlook this part, especially when you're in hustle mode, chasing goals, breaking old patterns. But here's the truth. Progress means nothing if you're too burned out to enjoy it. You can't pour energy, creativity, or focus into anything if your body and mind are drained. Self-care isn't a reward you get at the finish line. It's the fuel that gets you there. Start with the basics. Are you sleeping enough? Are you eating foods that energize you instead of just filling the gap? Are you moving your body, not to punish it, but to support it? This isn't about strict routines or aesthetic goals. It's about giving your system what it needs to function, to feel, to thrive. But it's not just physical. Your emotional and mental health matter just as much. When's the last time you paused to ask yourself how you're really doing? Not just fine, not just busy, but honest. Give yourself space to process, to journal, to cry if you need to talk to someone who listens without judgment. And no, it's not selfish. Taking care of yourself is not indulgence, it's maintenance, because you are the engine behind everything you're building. When you neglect yourself, everything else eventually cracks. When you protect your peace, everything else becomes more possible. So create rituals that restore you. A morning walk, a few deep breaths between tasks, saying no to things that drain you and yes to things that bring you home to yourself. You're not a machine. You're a human being with limits, and honoring those limits doesn't make you weak, it makes you wise. Remember, your goals don't need a burned-out version of you. They need you, fully present, fully alive, fully fueled. This isn't a quick fix. This is a lifelong journey, and every step forward still counts. There's no finish line where everything magically clicks and you're done. Growth doesn't work that way. Some days you'll feel powerful, other days like you're back at square one. That's not failure, that's life. And as long as you keep choosing to rise, to try again, to keep becoming, you're already winning. You're going to stumble. You're going to slip into old habits. You're going to doubt yourself more than once. But none of that erases the progress you've made. What matters is that you get back up. What matters is that you keep moving. Even when it's slow, even when no one's clapping, even when you're the only one who sees the work. Don't wait until it's perfect to be proud of yourself. Celebrate the small wins, the moments you chose discipline over comfort, the days you showed up when it would have been easier not to, the inner battles no one saw you fighting, but you fought them anyway. Those moments, that's where transformation lives. So be patient with yourself. Keep doing the work. Keep showing up. You're not falling behind. You're building something real, something lasting, something deeply yours. And every step you take, no matter how small, is proof you're becoming the person you were always meant to be. If this message spoke to you, pass it on. Share it with someone who needs the reminder. And hey, if you made it all the way here, drop a 100 in the comments, because that means you're not just dreaming about change, you're doing something about it. And that puts you in the top 1% already.